Thank you once again for joining me this very day. I don't take it for granted. It is always a pleasure. And today I want to talk about something that resonates with each one of us. It concerns the ability to understand what marriage is and what relationships entail. In fact, I'll be very glad if you get to just take a moment and just, peel that skin of religion and peel that skin of stinginess and get to benefit from what I'm about to express in this very moment. It is quite unfortunate what is happening in our society right now, whereas there are certain situations that are not proving to be right indeed, things that are not even adding up. At the end of the day, what we are having, we are only, entertaining what we call religious people. You know what I'm talking about, entertaining sin. But I want to put it in a very simple way, entertaining, disgusting, and certain ways that are not required. So what do I mean in this moment? When it comes to relationships and when it comes to marriage, I think it's very profound that we all grasp a reality of what it entails to be in one. It doesn't take magic, it takes work. Everything is work. You want to achieve something in this life, you have to input action. At the end of the day, it's all about taking responsibility to ensure that the kind of relationship you desire or you really want, at the end of the day, it's all about working for it. This is Salim Cyrus, and you can get a hold of me every other time, even on other social platforms. I'll be very happy if you be a part of the conversation. Like TikTok, you'll find me there as Salim Cyrus KE. And also you can find me even here on this very beautiful channel. And I'll be very happy to be a part of you growing and getting to know what it entails. Indeed. And also, you can go to my website www.salimcyrusconnect.org and www.salimcyrus.com. You can book a session with me. You can be able also to contact me, and we can be able to help you where we can. Also, you can support this channel in many ways you desire indeed. Thank you so much. So let us just dive into the topic of the day. Marriage and relationship. Marriage and relationships indeed. So what comes to your mind when you get to hear about marriage, when you get to hear about relationship? Let me make you understand a little bit. People tend to think that marriage is bringing someone and staying with them in the same house. But it's totally wrong. Because we've been taught that when you want to marry, you need to bring someone into your house as a man, and you need to have a woman that you can stay with at the end of the day. But it's quite unfortunate. People need to understand that the reality of becoming, it's all about understanding what marriage is. Because at the end of the day, it's all about having a structure that can enable both of you to have something that is of substance. I've seen so many people getting into marriage thinking that marriage is all about having a beautiful woman, having a handsome man, having a beautiful house, having a car, building a house. But the reality is we all get it wrong. Marriage is about finding a unique human being. And what do I mean by a unique human being? It's all about finding a person that is willing to build a life with you, to structure with you. We go before bishops and we go before imams and all these spiritual leaders, or leave alone spiritual, religious leaders. And we tend to think that when we vow before them, when we promise before them, that is marriage. But marriage is not between you and society. Marriage is not between you and your mother and your father. No, marriage is between three people, between you and your wife, you or your husband, and God. And promises are only made between a man and a woman. When you really want to achieve something, you promise your wife, you promise your husband, And it's only upon the two of you agreeing and coming to a place of what we call trust. So you build on trust, and that is how relationships function. But the problem is many people, you've promised, but you've never vowed. You only promised to your spouse, but you've never vowed. Because a vow is what you make before God. You do not make a vow to the person that you're having. You're making a vow unto God. And that is where many people get it wrong. And one of the other mistakes that people get to do is to think marriage is a place you come and you live as you wish. That is not marriage. Being in marriage requires what we call relationship. And that is why this very topic, marriage and relationships. People have gotten into marriage, but they are not relatable. They are not willing to be a part of each other. They are not willing to grow each other and build each other. There is no relationship in that marriage. And that is why before you get into marriage, you need to create that presence of relating, that atmosphere of relationship, that the both of you, at the end of the day, you are able to work together. You are able to do things together. But most of you, you are in marriage, you are in relationships, but you do not know how to do things together because there is no relationship at all. And that is why I get into the good book. I see what God did in the book of Genesis. You know, Genesis chapter 2, and God brought Eve before Adam. God brought Eve before Adam. The aspect of relation was being presented by God. Thus, it was for Adam to make a decision, And we can see he made one. And now this is bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. And this one is totally different from me. I'm paraphrasing. But most of us, we don't know what to do. We don't know where to go. We don't know the decisions that we need to make. Because at the end of the day, we only want to satisfy our way of feeling. And that is why many people have gotten it wrong. We've gotten into relationships based on how we feel. Based on how we feel. And that is why we've lost the essence of being in a relationship. My dear brothers and sisters, I want to make it clear to you that the marriage you're in is not working because you don't have a relationship with your husband or your wife. You don't have a relationship. The aspect of relationship is not present indeed. And that is why marriages are failing every other day. People are not willing to see the evidence of true relationship. And that is why in this moment I want to make it clear for us that we can be able to achieve the beauty of being in a relationship if we are all ready to see what it requires to have a productive marriage. And it is all about having a relationship with your partner. So, what are the criteria? What are the principles of having a good relationship with your partner? The foundation is very important. How did you begin that relationship? How did you begin that marriage? How did you begin that very, friendship at the end of the day? If it was all about what the person is bringing on the table based on, finances and all other things, that's a red flag indeed. And it is important, my dear brothers, to be very, very sensitive on these issues because people tend to think that, marriage, it's all about, money. It's all about, prayer. It's all about religion. It's all about all these things that we tend to think they're important. But just like I said, having a relationship is very important. When you have a relationship now, you will not focus on what we call love. You will focus on what we call trust because friendship is built on trust. You can really love someone. I love that person, but I don't trust them. But when you build on trust, and that is why you can see so many people, even religiously, you can get to see, even when you get into the good book, you're going to see that these people worship me with their mouth, but their hearts are far from me. That is how it is. There are people that are in marriage, but they don't have a relationship. They only care about what the husband is bringing and what the wife is doing. But at the end of the day, the marriage is failing. And that is why people are struggling when it comes to basically conjugal rights. People are struggling. People cannot even entertain one another because there is no relationship. There's no productivity based on what they were trying to build. So foundation is very important. How you begin the relationship is very important. You cannot begin a marriage without a relationship. That is what you need to understand. Who is this person that you want to get married to? Who is this person that you want to do business with? That relationship is very important. I've seen successful people getting it better in life because of creating, wealthy relationships. When I say wealthy relationships, I don't mean money. I mean wisdom. I mean understanding, knowledge and all that. People that are willing to build with you, structure with you. My dear brothers and sisters, it is quite unfortunate what is happening in our society. People are leaving each other left, right, and center because of silly things. Ideas that do not have substance at the end of the day. It is all about, if you cannot bring money, if you cannot bring the sex on, things are not going to work out. But I'm here to tell you, my dear brothers and sisters, it is important for you to see things beyond how people see it. Right now, most of you are struggling in your marriages because there is no relationship. You need to begin to have a conversation with your partner. Address these issues with your partner. Do you know why there is violence in marriage? Physical violence, emotional violence. It is because people lack the ability to understand one another. There is no relationship. But just imagine if you have a relationship with your partner. It will be for better, for worse. The other day I just came across a video and it captured my attention. This lady has cancer, lost all her eyes and lost some parts of her body. But this lady could say, my husband is the best husband in the whole world. Why? Because the husband stood and the husband is still standing by this woman's side, doing whatever they can do. Most of us, we don't want for worse, we want for better. Marriage is whereby you have a relationship with a person that can go far and beyond for you, that can take the initiative to build with you, grow with you, take responsibility. When children come, this is a person that will walk far and beyond for you. But most of you are not willing to structure yourselves into what is productive. Because you only care about your husband bringing money. You only care about your wife giving sex. You only care about your wife, doing whatever she's supposed to do as a wife. But you don't care about your relationship. Marriage is an empty space. Marriage is an empty space. And we all bring who we are into marriage. The problem of many people is that they think marriage is a place where you come perfect. Marriage is a union of two imperfect people who are willing to work together, who are willing to structure themselves. And they get to know, we are here, and in this, despite our imperfections, we are going to deal with ourselves. So my dear brothers and sisters, I want to make it clear to you. You cannot build a relationship based on how you feel, but based on how you think and you need it to be. That is how marriage is. So when we say marriage is an empty space, I want to let you know there is nothing in marriage. We all bring our personalities into marriage. We bring our identities into marriage. We bring our past, and our present into marriage. And it is all about now working for our future. So you have to deal with yourself. Stop getting into marriage so that your husband can help you become a better person. No, you become better before you get into any relationship. You become the best version of yourself. You deal with yourself. You deal with your past traumas. You deal with your past relationships. You deal with every other thing that will block you from seeing the future. And when you get into marriage, now you'll be able to say for sure, now I have something and I will build it from where it is. But people are not willing to do so. You get into marriage, you don't have a relationship with that person. Just going out for coffee does not mean you can relate. Going out for different kinds of dates does not mean that the person, has a relationship with you. A relationship is built on various principles like trust, love, care, understanding. Those are the things are part of what is required to make a better relationship. My dear brothers and sisters, you want a fruitful relationship or a fruitful marriage? It is all about you taking responsibility. It is all about you doing what is required to make something out of it. You can never become if you're not willing to do it the way it's supposed to be done. You can never arise to the occasion if you cannot see something that is of substance indeed. My dear brothers and sisters, I want you to do something that is required, and that thing is create a relationship before getting into marriage. And if you're in marriage, begin working on it, because marriage is work. Work on your relationship. Let your husband get to know that you can become a better person by working on your relationship. Where you were not humble, begin being humble. Where you were not able to apologize, begin to apologize to your partner. I'm telling you. And it is important for you, dear brothers and sisters, to do it. There is no apology about that. You need to take responsibility. My dear brother, you need to go to your wife. It is not simping. You are not being weak when you apologize to your woman. She's a human being. And it's all about having a relationship. Most of you are marrying each other because, a man marries a woman because she has a big body, a big behind. You're marrying that lady because she can shake and twerk it for you. Those are not the values of getting into marriage. My dear sister, you're marrying that man because he has money, because he can provide some things financially. But at the end of the day, marriage is not about that. Am I saying money is not important? It is important. But those are things you discuss with your partner. A partner that you're together in a relationship. Those are things that you discuss with your man and with your wife. Is sex important in a marriage? It is indeed. You discuss with your partner. It is very important that you take the initiative, responsibility to make sure that you govern yourself to ensure there is productivity. My dear brothers and sisters, it is quite unfortunate what we see in our society and in this generation. People are just getting married because of certain and various satisfactions. It can never be, and it does not exist. It is for you to take responsibility. It is for you to take the initiative to build on something that will ensure productivity in that marriage. I want to close by letting us know that the reality of being in a productive relationship depends on the both of you. Why do you want to get married? Why do you want to have that person in your life? Each one of you should have a discussion that will help you become. Having a great relationship, it is not about going to expensive places.